What if I told you everything you know about improving your life is wrong? That getting ahead isn't about doing more, it's about doing things differently. So in this video, I'll show you 5 habits that seem completely backwards, but they're exactly what you need to simplify your life, take action, and start seeing results today. Most of us believe that the more we consume, the more we grow. That's why we do it. It feels productive to consume book after book, podcast after podcast, but here's the truth. Knowledge isn't power. Let me show you. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich explains in chapter 5 that knowledge alone achieves nothing. It's only potential power. It only becomes powerful when it's turned into a specific action plan. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, expands on this idea perfectly. He once wrote in one of his articles, "Most people don't fully use the knowledge they already have. Everybody already knows that is very different from everybody already does that." Think about it. How many books were you excited to buy but never actually read? How many lessons have you learned but never applied? Can you imagine how much wisdom you have sitting unused in your head, waiting for action? James Clear reinforces what Hill wrote 87 years ago, stating that value lies not in consumption, but in application. Now, let me ask you this. What would your life look like if, instead of reading 10 more books this year, you read just one, like Atomic Habits, but fully applied everything it teaches? What kind of transformation could you create then? I stumbled upon the power of this habit when I became a parent. Life forced me to read less. And that's when the magic started happening. Instead of juggling 10 ideas in my head, ended up forgetting them, I only had the 1 or 2 ideas I actually had the time to consume. And for the first time, those ideas actually made a difference because they had the space to work. An idea can only change your life if you let it. So here's my invitation. Read less and do more. For most of us, the idea of working out feels like a huge production. You've got to block time, change into workout clothes, head to the gym, or even set up the equipment at home. And let's not forget, you've got to be in the mood for it. It's no wonder these steps create resistance, making it hard to stick with a habit. That's why I stopped forcing myself to work out. It might sound counterproductive at first, but by acknowledging the obstacles between me and my fitness goals, I realized that I need a different approach. So instead of forcing a workout into my busy and tired schedule, I decided to start moving more. If I don't have to drive, I walk. If I don't need the elevator, I take the stairs. If I'm carrying shopping bags, I turn them into curls, and I do that all the way to the front door. This shift in mindset changed everything because I no longer saw movement as a chore or a task to do. I became a person who moves. By looking for opportunities in my busy day to get small amounts of movement in, I turned life itself into my workout. And here's the magic. The more you move, the more you want to move. Spending energy in small ways like walking or climbing or stretching actually gives you more energy. It sounds almost crazy and very counterintuitive, but sometimes when you're tired, the best thing you can do is move. And suddenly you'll see that your body re-energizes itself. I know our body is amazing and I never bothered looking into the science behind this, but it works. This mindset shift also keeps your body ready to move. When you're warmed up and less stiff, it's so much easier to drop into spontaneous movement. 10 push-ups here, 20 squats there. There is a natural momentum that keeps you going. And that's when fitness becomes a seamless part of life instead of this huge big production we always dread. So if you find that sticking to a workout plan isn't working for you, especially as a new habit, then forget about it, at least for now. That's what I did. I invite you to stop working out and start moving more. Here's the fact. Most of our biggest problems in life will be solved with the boring basics. In fact, I believe that these problems are there to begin with because we're overlooking the basics. We're often searching for a complex solution when the answer is so obvious and simple. I believe that there's really no secret to success. It's about doing the basics consistently. Save 10% of your income and watch your bank account. Do 10 push-ups a day and watch your posture. Read 5 pages a day and watch the quality of your ideas. Go to bed on time and watch your energy levels. I know that I'm stating the stupidly obvious here, but these habits make 90% of our lives. If we're looking to master anything, these are the habits. You want to get these right first. Now, let's make this even more simple and practical for you as an individual. The 80-20 principle, or Pareto principle, says that 80% of results come from just 20% of effort. By breaking down your goals into small practical steps, you can identify the highest leverage actions, the ones that give you the most reward for the least effort. Starting with a big, overwhelming goal in mind is the perfect way to feel stuck. Trying to do everything at once leads to burnout, frustration, and procrastination. Small actions, on the other hand, reduce overwhelm and keep momentum going. Try focusing on one high-leverage task at a time and allow your efforts to compound and help you make progress. The beauty of small steps is that they create action, and action is the only thing that moves the needle. I would rather focus on small things but do something than have this grand plan but end up doing nothing. So here's my invitation. Do small things daily and see what happens. We've all been there, staying up too late, snacking mindlessly, binge watching shows, and then paying the price the next morning. You wake up tired, groggy, and exhausted before you even lifted a finger.
Not feeling great, but I felt worse.
This cycle is painfully frustrating and it feels almost impossible to break. We're so exhausted with our lifestyle that the last thing on our mind is discipline. But what if I told you that the secret to better mornings and days in general is actually in the evening? In Judaism, a new day doesn't begin when the clock strikes midnight or when you wake up in the morning. A new day begins at sunset. And I found this perspective extremely insightful. By shifting your perspective and treating the evening as the start of a new day, the evening now becomes the preparation for the morning. You can set yourself up for success long before the sun rises. And then I realized that I don't actually need better morning routines. What I need is a better evening routine. So when you wake up in the morning, it's actually the following morning, meaning it's following your preparation from the evening before. Whether we like it or not, the evening is when tomorrow truly begins. Therefore, the morning is a reflection of our evening. By viewing your evening as the preparation for the next day, you'll start making better decisions in those critical hours before bed. Are you setting yourself up for a productive morning, or are you creating more work for yourself by making poor choices late at night? Here's an easy way to start implementing this new perspective. As soon as the sun starts to set, that's your visual cue that preparation time is coming. When you see the sky getting dark, it's a reminder to start shifting your mindset and set yourself up for the following day. And here's a cliche that is actually true. At a certain age, nothing good happens after 10 p.m. This doesn't just mean partying or going out, but also late night binge sessions. When you're tired, decision fatigue kicks in and your body and mind crave comfort, not your long-term well-being. So instead, use that time to prepare for tomorrow. So I invite you, start your day the night before and see what happens to your days. Here is a reality many of us wouldn't like to admit. We all broke promises we made to ourselves. Maybe we told ourselves we'd wake up early, exercise, or finish a project, but we didn't follow through. We might let ourselves off the hook at first, but over time, these broken promises add up and they start to eat away at our self-confidence. When somebody else breaks your trust, you can often repair the relationship over time. But when you lose trust in yourself, that's a different kind of challenge. If that happens, it's not just about a broken promise anymore. It's about questioning your own ability to follow through and succeed. Self-doubt creeps in, and your belief in your own potential begins to fall apart. Rebuilding that trust in yourself is crucial, and it's one of the most important things you can do for your life. But here's the good news. Rebuilding the trust in yourself is possible, and it starts with a small victory. You don't need to make grand promises. In fact, starting small is key. Make a promise to yourself, something achievable, like following one of the habits we talked about in this video. Set a short time frame, like a day, today, and make sure you follow through. One small promise kept can spark a chain reaction of trust and confidence. When you keep a promise to yourself, something powerful happens. You prove to yourself that you can trust yourself again. And once you have that trust, you open the door to everything else you want to achieve. Suddenly you feel more confident and capable. You know you can follow through on bigger goals because you've built that foundational trust in your ability to succeed. This habit is probably my favorite because it's foundational to who you are as a human being. And it's kind of counterintuitive because we usually make promises to other people, not to ourselves. But if you've watched this far into the video, I want to believe that you genuinely care. So I want to challenge you to raise the standard for the most important relationship you have, your relationship with yourself. By honoring your commitments to yourself, you're sending a message that you respect and value your own potential. This, in turn, creates an ocean of downstream benefits, better decision-making, greater success, and more resilience in the face of challenges. So I invite you, make a promise to yourself and keep it. Now let's end on a personal note if you don't mind. This list of habits was born out of desperation, if I'm honest. Being a parent completely takes over your life, even though it's one of the greatest things a human being can do in their lifetime. but I needed a practical and helpful way to not lose myself and give up on myself in this very demanding season. I needed a way to keep my dreams alive. And so I searched for high leverage habits that can generate big results over time, even though I have very little time. And only high leverage tasks can take something small and turn it into a massive thing, which is basically what we all wish for ourselves, to do great things and be proud of who we are. And so these habits are helping me today, in this moment of my life, tremendously. And so I hope they'll do the same for you. Start with one, don't overdo it, and I'm sure you'll see results soon, because I do. Subscribe if this was a good trade for your time, and I'll see you soon.